I want to talk about Stephen A, man, because I remember last time I said that I kind of missed the hype on Stephen A when the initial news came out that LeBron, pulled up on Stephen A and told him stop talking about my, stop talking about my son. But Stephen A has dragged this out again. I don't want to keep relating it back to this, but this is really like the whole Drake and Kendrick situation all over again with how one side is acting and the other side is just like, he said one thing, then the other side just reacts, and then we're just going back and forth. But the main difference is I don't feel like nobody's on Stephen A side. I think that everybody is like outside of the ESPN commentator, because Kendrick Perkins, of all people, is agreeing with Stephen A. Like I feel like besides those couple of people who are just super duper LeBron haters for whatever reason, everybody else is like, Stephen A, you tripping. Like we see you going on this tour. Like LeBron said, you're going on this Taylor Swift tour talking about me and this interaction, bro. And like you're seriously dragging it. You're seriously dragging it at this at this point, bro. Like I don't understand outside of ratings, because when Stephen A first talked about it, he was like, I wasn't even gonna talk about it, but then it went viral. And then, I came in and ESPN was like, oh no, you need to talk about this. So they know, bro. They're trying to get their ratings. They're trying to get people to tune in. Excuse me. They're trying to get people to tune in to First Take, and people surely did, because they want to hear what Stephen A is going to say. You already know he gonna give it to you. I would say straight, but apparently he was lying. He was lying, bro, on so many things. So just to catch you all up. So after that whole situation, Stephen A just kept going on tour. He even linked up with, what's once was his enemy, now his friend, because, Skip is no longer on FS1. He's no longer on Fox. So this dude went on Skip's show to talk about the situation. They both hated on LeBron together. This man been like talking to everybody. He been on his own platform talking about LeBron. He really had been doing a lot. So most recently, LeBron, since he was, actually had the game in Indiana, which he had the game winner for, that game winning tip in to win the game. So Lakers were in Indiana playing the Pacers, and so LeBron decided to pull up on Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee. Let me tell you his last name correctly. You see how Steven went low and talk. Yep. We gonna talk about that. So LeBron went on Pat McAfee show, and there was a clip, it's always a clip. So Pat McAfee asked him about, what's going on with Stephen A. So he said, like I said already, he said that Stephen A looked like he's going on Taylor Swift tour right now. And he said it was never about like you criticizing my gameplay. He was like, it was about, you talking about me as a father. And he was like, that's what I didn't like. So, he said, that's why he did what he did. But he was like, man, he tripping right now, basically. So Stephen A, of course, being who he is, now he talking real big now. The first time that he was on First Take, he sounded a little bit more sympathetic. But now this man, he talking his shit, man. He talking his shit. And he got Brian Windhorst in there with him. He got Kendrick Perkins on there with him talking. Shannon Sharp don't even know who to choose right now. He don't know which side to choose. He like, damn, man. He like, Stephen A, my boy, but he like, damn, but LeBron, my dog. Like I've been, I've been a Lakers fan for a while, so it's so dragged now. It's so dragged now. So this is the part that really pisses me off, and I love it because there's actually context here. And I want y'all to, for the people who didn't see this segment or hear this segment, it's very disheartening. I'm like, Stephen A, come on. He did clarify that I made a mistake, but it's like, why did you say that, bro? Again, you're doing exactly what LeBron said that you were doing, and that's getting personal. This dude, Stephen A, is not taking accountability for him getting personal. He's like, oh, I'm a journalist. It's my job to criticize you. I have been talking about the NBA since before you got into the league, and I'll still be talking about the NBA and the players after you retire. He's like, I'll still be here. Like when you get into my realm of a journalist, then that's when we start having problems. I'm the big dog around here. You the big dog who plays basketball, but I'm the big dog who's a journalist. I'm like, you do understand that without one, there would definitely not be the other, right? Like, I feel like this is common sense, but Stephen A, especially after he got his new contract, 'cause this dude, he off the rails right now. He talking this shit, he crashing out. I don't know why, but he's doing it, dog. He is really crashing out. So whatever this big contract extension was that he got, or renegotiation, he must be getting a lot more money because he is just like he being like a corporate shell right now. He keep talking about ESPN and Disney, my handlers, my handlers. I'm like, this sounded a little weird. I don't know if y'all agree, but this sounded a little weird, bro. So, anyways, let's listen to the clip real quick.
That he'd be happy with the things that I haven't brought up. I never brought up really and never really discussed why you were not at Kobe Bryant's memorial service. I never really brought up or discussed why you did not attend Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame induction when that man was directly responsible for you capturing a championship for the first time in your career. I brought up none of that. I didn't bring up the fact that even though when people had asked, you had alluded to what had happened tragically to your son, and thank God he's okay with his heart condition. I didn't bring up the fact that even though you couldn't go to the Hall of Fame induction of Dwayne Wade weeks earlier, you were out of the country on business. I didn't bring that up. That's your personal business. Okay? But the fact is, you wasn't at the Hall of Fame induction of a brother that's going to drastically assist to you being a Hall of Famer because he helped you become the champion that you are, and he was a big brother to you. I brought up none of these things. I brought up none of these things. But
I brought up none of these things. I brought up none of these things, but you brought it up now. Let's say if this was true, because we've already proven this false, and Stephen A already walked his back saying that, oh, my bad, I incorrectly said that. So he's spreading disinformation. He's spreading disinformation here, which they added context there. But it's very disheartening to see this get to this point because first of all, it shouldn't have. And I feel like Stephen A at this point, since he keeps dragging it, he's very, very upset that he probably has not gotten that like 101 LeBron interview. So that's one. I think he's still salty about that. This kind of reminds me of like DJ Academics like never getting that Drake interview, or Joe Budden, for that fact, not never getting that Drake interview. So it reminds me of that situation. So I think he's salty. I think he's salty about that one. And I also think that he is really, really standing on this point where he wishes LeBron would have like taken him in private, like either like in the locker room backstage of the arena, or had dinner like he initially said. I think he's harping on that point as well. And it's like, oh, since you didn't do that and you want to come at me in public, then that's when I want to take offense, and I want to continue saying, hey, this ain't personal. This ain't personal. I'm talking about you as a player. I'm talking about you as a player. And the only reason why I mentioned your son is because of the things that you did, you and Rich Paul, because you told the Lakers that if you want me, then you got to draft my son, and you did what you did to get him in there when I didn't think that Bronny was that type of player yet. So you was over here doing all the stuff on the side when Bronny ain't at that level yet. So he keeps trying to say that. He's like, oh, that's why I'm talking about you as a father. But it ain't really about your parenting, just about that point. But you're still questioning him as a father. Okay, so what if he did that? So what if he did that? All of that is true. Are you going to judge this man, super harshly because maybe his dream, once he's seen his sons coming up, is I want to be the first player in NBA history to play with my son on the same team at that. Maybe he just wanted to again be that person like, hey, I was able to do that. You don't know what people's personal goals are. People's personal goals, they change, they alter or whatever. LeBron has pretty much accomplished, everything at the highest level that an NBA player could do. So maybe that was just his end goal before he decided to hang it up. I think that's very admirable to want to do that. Forget Bronny's game and what he can and can't do. I think that Bronny has every I think that he has all the potential and the time to get better. I'm not going to judge him, and I never thought that Bronny was going to come out the gate just being, just like his dad, right? I didn't think that he was going to do that, but he has the potential to develop. So I have never been super harsh on Bronny. Yeah, I know it was a joke, to talk about him, getting 5 minutes, getting 2 points, when he actually played on the Lakers. And then when he goes down to the G League, then, he starts doing much better, but people aren't talking about it because it isn't in the NBA. Everybody needs a chance to develop. And again, if you want to go off the point that Bronny just wasn't there yet, but yet he ended up getting an opportunity to get drafted and be on the Lakers with his father. I mean, it's fine. But again, if you want to harp on that point, then we have to also be have a little bit more respect and have a little bit more grace, on that boy, which is that young man, I should say, because again, he has very, very big shoes to fill. I mean, you take a look at Michael Jordan's kids, none of them ever got in the league. They went to college, one of them was better than the other, but they didn't end up panning out. That happens. But we've seen other people's kids, other legendary NBA players' kids get into the league and do quite well. But again, I know that LeBron in a lot of people's eyes, he is the GOAT. So I understand why Bronny has such a hard time, as soon as he get in the league, because all eyes are on him. And once his dad retires, it's going to be everybody looking at him again. So I understand it, but at the same time, it's just not fair, bro. It's not fair to just be criticizing him because of that and questioning his parenting and get on this other stuff. Okay, so another thing, because there was multiple things, bro. This dude, Stephen A, said that he would have slapped. He said he would have slapped LeBron if he would have did something to him. I'm like, okay, Stephen A, really? Like, no, that's a small point. I'm like, no, like really? Okay. And then the last thing outside of the Kobe thing, which I just feel like is very, actually it's two more things. I've seen some other people getting on LeBron. It's been a good amount of people getting on LeBron because he went to the white man, Pat McAfee, instead of going to. I've seen somebody make the point that LeBron should have went to a smaller podcast, a smaller black podcast, and propped them up. And I don't like when black people do that. Sometimes, I kind of fall into that realm. I'm like, well, why did you go over here when you could have went over there? But if one, it's business. Two, maybe they just don't want to. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to force anybody to go where they don't want to go. So again, I'm not going to fault them because I like Pat McAfee. I'm not gonna be like, oh, because he's a white boy, this is a cool LeBron, you shouldn't have done that. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. LeBron barely does interviews as it is. He has his own platform where he talks to people. And he doesn't need this at the end of the day. He doesn't need to sit down with anybody. Maybe it just was like, all right, I'm just going to pull up on Pat McAfee because he's in Indiana. Who the hell is in Indiana? Nobody's in Indiana but the Patriots and Pat McAfee. It's just sports and Pat McAfee. So maybe he just was like, hey, man, I got a little bit of time before the game. Let me just pull up on you and talk my shit real quick. Just shoot the shit. So again, I'm not gonna harp on for that. The last thing that this dude just started going off the rails on, and I'm just like, what does this have to do with you and LeBron? This dude started talking about how, I remember Rich Paul made the comment that he was a little bit upset. I don't know if it was directly aimed at Stephen A, but I remember Rich Paul questioning some people who thought that LeBron James wasn't the best basketball player ever. And this was like shortly after LeBron James passed the, all-time points record, right? And I remember, Stephen A and others, they have Jordan as their goal, and they're like, you'll never pass Jordan, my ass. You played during your 22nd year. Jordan has done way more than you in way less time. He has more finals than you. He has more MVPs than you. Blah blah blah. Just pulling up, stat after stat after stat. What does that have to do with anything? I highly doubt that LeBron James is mad at Stephen A. Smith because he thinks that Jordan is a better basketball player of all time than LeBron. Really? That's the hill you want to die on? That you think that this beef stems from LeBron being upset at you because you have an opinion on who you think the greatest basketball player is? I think LeBron has a lot more things to care about than you, Stephen A. And this is once again why people like Stephen A. Smith, you were tripping, bro. You were thinking way too highly of yourself, and you truly think that this is the reason why he's upset. And then you're like, I don't like LeBron. I don't like LeBron. I'm like, all right, here we go. Now you saying you don't like the man. All right. You're like, I never truly liked you. I'm like, yeah, you want Skip, boy. You want Skip. Y'all just be hating people for no reason. There's no reason for you to hate him. No reason for you to hate him, but you just hate because you know that people are going to talk about it. I think that's truly it. I think he doesn't really hate LeBron or not like him. I think he just says that because he knows that it's going to get the clicks, honestly. So those are the things that I want to talk about, but man, oh man, Stephen A. Smith has to get humbled, bro. He has to get humbled because this man is crashing out badly. He is crashing out badly. And he truly thinks that without journalists talking about people like LeBron, that they would be irrelevant. And that's just simply not true. Whenever LeBron James retires, I can guarantee that his life will go on. He will continue to be rich. He will continue to be successful. If you do not utter another word at this man, Stephen A., you do not have to say another thing about LeBron James. He will be okay. The world will keep turning, bro. I promise you, the world will keep turning. They do not need to talk about you in order for people to be like, oh, who is that? Who is that? If you're good, you're going to make waves by yourself. You don't need journalists or beat writers talking about you every day, negative or positive. So that's what I wanted to say about this. So I'm sure that this is going to continue, maybe more on Stephen A's side. I hope that LeBron makes that the last time that he says anything about Stephen A. Just leave it alone and let that man crash out all by himself because you weren't saying anything anyways, and literally just because of you pulling up on him when you got tired of him talking shit was the whole reason why we're in this mess. Again, I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming LeBron, but again, it's everybody has that line. Everybody has, it's like, all right, enough's enough, bro. I need to protect my household. So I see you there at this game, so I'm gonna pull up on you and tell you, stop talking about my son, bro. So again, that was a father, like Stephen A. admitted, that was a father coming to me. That wasn't a basketball player, but okay, if you understood that and you said that already, then why are you still going on and talking about personal problems? You I didn't, I never talked about you not coming to Kobe's funeral. I never talked to you about you not coming to Dwayne Wade's retirement thing. Like, what that have to do with anything? It had nothing to do with anything. But he's like, I never said it, but then you brought it up. And you brought it up ironically because you just said it. And then it was wrong. Like, this man can't win, bro. This man can't win. He just needs to shut up. But I think that him getting that new contract, getting that money, just like it got his head hella souped up. His head is hella souped up right now, and he crashing out, bro. So, man, oh man, it is what it is. But that's that. All right, that is that.